Oh my lord, what is this? Oh my god, I'm just fucking with you. Guys, welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a video talking about some concept arts and that sort of stuff for Generation 8. Now, of course, the image you see here on the screen is not an actual gameplay image. Let me just first and foremost explain that, because I bet you I'm going to have a bunch of people being angry like, oh, that image, I thought it was real. Well, it isn't real. It's just a concept image made by Rafael Diaz on Twitter that he posted actually back in March. This was actually before Let's Go Pixel Screen were actually revealed, and I thought we'd take a look at this image because I've already like seen this before. I haven't covered it though, but I've seen this image before, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of look at this image and kind of describe like in what way this image works and how this could work well for Generation 8, and also talk about, generally speaking, the battle system and all that stuff for Generation 8 and what it could be like. So I thought we'd do that in today's video, guys. So let's get started with the first thing here, which is the actual post here from Rafael. Let's read what he has to say, his opinions, his thoughts, and all that, and let's see what it's all about. So, he says here, I had a bit of time on my hands today, so I decided to speculate and create an image of how #Pokemon Switch battle system will look like. Obviously HD graphics, and hopefully no outline around the characters. In order to confirm, that's essentially what's happened. Except that the HD graphics don't really look that good in Let's Go Pikachu Squeebee compared to what we expected. Still better than, I guess, Sun and Moon in terms of upscale. But they're still just Sun and Moon models that have been upscaled, so to say. And it just does pretty much look like maybe an ORAS game, but it's been upscaled, you know, to look better on... slightly better on console because, you know, it's got higher resolution, but that's the extent of it, and really done much else to the actual graphics to improve the textures and stuff, which is something we were hoping for next generation to make them even better. But let's continue here with the actual stuff here. So obviously HD graphics and hopefully no outlines around the characters. Battles more dynamic, but still using the original formula. So what he means by original formula is that you can see right here on the image that he created, he has the original kind of like, you know, system for, you know, picking a move, right? You got like, you know, I'm not sure what that is, like some fairy type moves, some 2 water type moves, and 1 normal type move. It's all in Japanese, I guess, so I can't really tell what it is. And this thing right here, this creature, it looks like a bunch of love discs combined together into one Pokemon, like an evolution. That's like really strange. Versus like some sort of Fakemon that he created, which is really cool that he went the extra mile to create his own little Fakemon. He could have just put like real Pokemon here, but he's created a bunch of Fakemon. That's pretty nice. I kind of like that. So I'm not sure if this is underwater here, or if this is actually above ground on like Earth, like on a bunch of like, I mean, I say Earth as if like, you know, talk about like some different planets or whatever. No, but I mean like, you know, it looks like it's just like on ground here, and it's not like underwater, under the sea or anything. And of course it looks better if you look at this one. Like that just looks slightly better because you have a hard time telling what it is, because it is taken, you know, in such a weird manner. But of course, you know, down here he's got like you know, with ZL and ZR, bag, and then R I assume is run, which I'm not sure, like I guess that would be like your R button. Fair enough. And then of course the health bars, which we can see up here in the left and right, top right and bottom left. And of course we see them here as well. And of course I think this is kind of like what like I would have imagined it to look in general in terms of Pokemon Switch. Just kind of your same old system. But it would be really cool if they did what he did there, which is to, you know, make so that the moves work based on like, you know, your the Joy-Con on this side, right, of this one. If they made it based on these ones, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Like, if they made it, like, based on X, Y, A, B, that would be pretty cool. Unlikely that they would. Like, really unlikely. But it would be pretty interesting. Though, of course, it could be a little bit uncomfortable because you're probably used to pressing A to spam attacks. Like, you know, just spam that button so it's going to use that attack. But this would actually, like, remove a part of the, you know, the time it takes to actually use a move, because you wouldn't have to press A on the move and then press again to kind of like use the move, or to press, you know, press A to go into the move bar, and then, you know, press again to use the move. This would actually be very much like way faster and would actually make the combat way quicker. So to be frankly honest, this isn't like too bad of an idea. It actually could really work, but then again, it's all, you know, speculative for now, I would say, if this would actually be possibly a well-working system. Now he also said something else down here which I think is interesting to kind of, you know, take into consideration. That is that battles occur on the map. Instead of a battle stage, a cleaner HUD, especially during battles. Now, some fun fact about the images. I decided that modeling new Pokemon would be easier than using existing ones. So I created a bat-like fire Pokemon and a school form of Love Disc. My Japanese skills aren't that good, so there might be some or many mistakes. Adds a picture of how it would... Mistakes adds a picture of how it would look like on an actual Switch, just to add some realism. And of course, that's the one he's talking about right here, showing how the thing would actually look like if it was, you know, played this in, in like on a Switch rather, and how that would look like, which does look okay. Looks good to me. I don't see an issue with any of it. Of course, the background looks a little bit, it's a little sketch because he just made that really quick, and of course, just in general, it was all just made in a really quick manner, which is totally fine. But then again, guys, so. What I think about, like, some of the ideas he had here, I think the first idea, which you mentioned there, is one that I've also suggested, and that is that we remove the battle stages. Also, I just noticed my camera is a little bit scuffed, so it's, like, low FPS right now. I hope you guys are fine with that, but I do hope they remove the battle stages, and what I mean by that is, like, so every time you go into a battle in Pokemon, you go into this, like, different window, where the battle takes place. Now, I honestly think that it would be pretty nice if they made it so that the battle takes place in the space you're within in the world. So if you're walking around on, like, route, let's say hypothetically on, like, route, I don't know, like route 399 or whatever, like some random route or whatever. You're walking around on route 399, okay? And on this route 399, you see a Pikachu, right? And that Pikachu's walking around in some grass, and you go towards that Pikachu, you encounter it, but instead of going, like, your screen just turning, like, black or whatever, or just, like, some animation happening, and you go into a different place to battle that Pikachu, instead of that happening, how about the battle just kind of, like, shifts down to the character, like, the camera shifts down, like, fast, like, shifts down to the character, and all of a sudden, this Pikachu jumps back, and, you're in a battle with it in that actual area. So the literal route would be your battle space instead of just going to the battle window. I think that's a really cool concept and a really cool idea that definitely could work, and it reminds me of, like, Ni no Kuni. Now, I don't know if you guys have played Ni no Kuni, but I played Ni no Kuni 2, and I'm playing it right now. It's like, actually, I've got my CD over there. If you guys want to see it, I can just bring it over in a second here. But I do have, let's see, oh boy. So I do have a Ni no Kuni right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I've got Ni no Kuni right there. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. And also got, like, God of War or whatever, but that's unrelated. But I've got Ni no Kuni 2 right there, and I've been playing it, and the thing I noticed with Ni no Kuni is, I really like the way you go into battles, and that is that, like, when you think of, like, games like Final Fantasy, or, I guess, like, Dragon Quest, in those games, usually to go into the battle system, it's like, it teleports you to a different kind of plane, right? So different, like, to a battle menu. And that's the same thing, or a battle space, rather. And the same thing happens in Pokemon, right? You're taken to a battle space, a battle area, a battleground, right? But in Ni no Kuni, you don't. Your battle actually takes place in the same area where you encounter that creature. So if they just made the area slightly bigger in Gen 8, just slightly bigger, and then open it up so that, Pokemon can still walk around you and all that stuff, then you can still battle Pokemon in the wild, right? But instead of going into the battles taking place in some sort of battle menu, it'd be more realistic if they took place in the actual physical space in front of you that you can see around you. And that's what happens in Ni no Kuni. Like, if you see a monster or an enemy, you actually battle them in that space, right? There's kind of like a little bit of a animation thingy-majingy, but then you're still battling them in that same area. It doesn't take you to some other sort of plane. Now, do I think that this would work with Pokemon? Maybe. It's impossible to know, 100%. But there are also different aspects of how you battle in Ni no Kuni. And I mean, this is the old Ni no Kuni right here. I think it's like Ni no Kuni, yeah, the first one, Wrath of the White Witch. Not sure if that was the first one, but I just know that that's just the first Ni no Kuni right there, which had a little bit of a different one. But Ni no Kuni 2, I like the combat system. It allows for a lot of flexibility for me, and I really like it because, I can just go into a battle in that, in the area I'm within. So right here, for example, see the main character is, taking on some sort of dragon, which I've not gotten this far into the game yet, so I don't know what's going on here, but it's a little bit of a spoiler for me. But, like right here, the character's, gonna take on this battle. You can see down here, how they're battling, and boom, there's an actual animation of it. And you can see, like, the battles are really dynamic, and I love it. Like, the actual animations and the dynamic battles, like, this is fantastic in my opinion. I love it, and I really wish, like, that they would do something similar to this, where, the battles are a little bit more dynamic and interesting, but you actually move around on the map and that sort of stuff. The battle is really dynamic, but that's something that I know if I mention it even slightly, that, like, oh, make the battles more dynamic, or any other sort of stuff, people instantly get angry and say, like, oh, they shouldn't do that, I don't want Pokemon to be like that, which I understand, but it's also the same people, then, who attack me for not liking the catching system in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I don't like it. I think I've said it a few times before, but I'm not a big fan of the catching system or catching mechanic in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I hate it, actually. I think it's boring and it's not fun, and just because it was, like, essentially it's Pokemon Go, but on a Switch, which I never really wanted, because if I want to play Pokemon Go, I can do it on my phone, I've got my phone, I can play it on my phone, and then, when I suggest the possibility of maybe, like, a changed battle system to a more dynamic one, or not, maybe not even change the battle system. Let's keep the battle system like it is right here, you know what I mean? The same old, like no changes to that either. Let's keep it that way, but you know, let's do something like this, right? You know what I mean? Where the battles can occur on the map. You know, when you suggest these things and these ideas to people, they get really angry and like, no, Pokemon shouldn't do that. Pokemon, that would change Pokemon. Pokemon shouldn't change. But then again, those are the same people then attack you for simply having the idea of like, maybe I don't want to have the Pokemon Go catching mechanic. Maybe I don't like that, and people get angry for you for not liking that. So I don't know. It's a really double-edged sword with people and humans and just all that stuff. You know, some people like this, some people like that. You know, it's all differing opinions. But you know, what I mean, I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think that the like, you know, a UI like this would be nice? Do you think that this UI would be good, where we change it so that now you press X, Y, A, B to actually use your abilities, and Z, L, and Z, R, and R for bag items and, you know, Pokemon bag, item bag, and run? Would that be cool? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, do you think a battle system or a more dynamic system like, you know, Kuni, where the battles take place, you know, in the actual world, and also, you know, it's more dynamic so you move around your Pokemon, would that be nice? Or would you want a mixture of the two? So basically, the battles take place in the real world like this, you know what I mean? Like when you walk around, you encounter a Pokemon, you go into a battle with it, but it still uses this old system of battling, you know, like the strategy battles, you know, what Pokemon, you know, turn-based combat, right? You use a turn-based combat, but it's in the actual world, so you don't go into an animation screen or whatever. The battles just take place in the actual world of, you know, the Pokemon world, and you see them around you, right? Would that be better? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts and all that, guys, and thank you so much for watching. My name is Have yourselves a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.